What is up, guys? Welcome to my video on how to record vocals. So, first thing you need to know about recording vocals is the type of microphone that you're going to be using to record your vocal. There are 3 different types of microphones that you would use. There are condenser microphones, dynamic microphones, and there are also ribbon microphones. Now, my favorite for most vocals, especially if they're going to be doing clean, soft, maybe even harder, aggressive style of vocals, most times you're going to want to use a large diaphragm condenser mic, such as this one, the Rode NT1A. Now, condenser microphones are great because they're very sensitive and they're also very natural sounding. So they sound like you would hear the vocal in the room. They're great at picking up articulation and they're great at capturing a full natural sound. Dynamic microphones, different. The advantage of a dynamic microphone over a condenser microphone is that they can take higher SPL levels, which is sound pressure levels, which basically means that the louder you sing with a higher SPL level, there's going to be less distortion. So if you're, say, doing metal screaming vocals, a dynamic microphone most of the time would be better for that, as you start to scream into it, being a lot louder and not distorting the microphone. So that's one advantage of a dynamic microphone. However, with dynamic microphones, you don't get the high-end shelf, a nice presence boost in the high end that can sound great on a vocal and make the vocal sound up front. Whereas here, condenser microphones really nice because they bring out that articulation. So we've got the microphone here, the Rode NT1A. On the shock mount, this is included with the microphone bundle that I got. It's an affordable microphone at around $200 Australian. On the shock mount, and this removes any knocking noise from the stand, or if I tap my feet on the floor, especially if you're in a studio or anywhere that you've got a wooden floor, it will pick up some of the resonances and you can hear it on the microphone. So it's just that any unwanted vibrations, that's what this helps reduce. And one thing you're going to need is a pop shield or a pop filter. So this eliminates all the P's and the B's when you sing straight into the microphone, as it will create wind, and that wind will make popping noises. So that's why it's called a pop filter. It helps eliminate the pop, because you don't want those in your recordings. And the next thing you want to know is picking the right room. Now, most of the time, most of the rooms you record at home, they aren't acoustically treated well. This room isn't treated great for vocals. You see there's a lot of hard surfaces. This is wood, there's doors, there's walls, it's fairly small. So in a room like this, you want to try and get the microphone in the center of the room to get it as far away from the walls as possible. So the walls will be reflections from the vocal, and when you have reflections, the sound could travel back into the microphone, and that will be combined in your voice, and it won't sound as clear as you like it to be. It could be, a little bit boxy sounding, just a bit muddy, a bit ugly, and it will have its own room tone to it. Also, if you've got a much larger room, then you will hear an actual reverb in there. So that's something you don't want. So most of the time you want to record the vocal as dry as possible, unless you're in a nice space where you want to capture that extra essence. Most of the time you want to record the vocal dry and add reverb and effects later in post-production in the mix. So some other tips you can do is, if you know a dry space, you can record vocals in a closet. Some people do that at home. Or a lot of guys get these windshields there, which is kind of a myth, because most of the time you're singing into the microphone like that. They think that when you sing into it and it's got the protection here, that's going to eliminate what the microphone is hearing, but the microphone is a cardio pickup pattern where it actually hears everything that's behind you. So where it's facing is what it's going to pick up. So therefore, the sound is going to pick up everything reflected on the wall behind me. So the better thing to do is, if you've got any reflective foam, mattresses, is to put them behind you, and that will help eliminate room tone that's going to go back into the microphone. Alright guys, so once you've decided which type of microphone you want to use, you want to decide, well, which brand, which actual, model of microphone you want to use. Every microphone sounds different. Every microphone has different characteristics, such as more low end, more high end. They're brighter. They have higher or less SBL level. They're more sensitive. Some of them sound more natural, especially more of the upper price, expensive microphones. The lower price ones can sound a bit more brittle, a little bit harsh to the ear. Yeah, but that's why you get lots of microphones and you test out which one sounds best for the vocal you're recording. Again, I said I like the NT1A. It's a very quiet microphone and it sounds very natural in my voice. So the second thing you want to pay real close attention to is the position of the microphone, the height, and how far away you are. Now, there's no one size fits all, one rule approach to this. It's really about getting it to serve the song. If you're in a big, doing a big rock mix, then what's the point of standing back, singing straight into the microphone, picking up, the space, making the voice sound dull, distant. You want to get right up in the microphone like you're going to eat it. You're going to get close to it, and that's going to give you the most proximity. It's low end, it's going to sound up front, and it's going to sound more consistent. Now we have to talk about the proximity effect, and the proximity effect is the amount of bass build up as you get closer to the microphone. So like I said, you get closer to the microphone, the more low end you're going to have. Further away, less low end. Now it can be your friend in a lot of circumstances, especially if someone's singing really quiet, someone's got a really soft voice, and getting right up on the microphone would just even out having it being boomy or just a little bit too unclean. Now what's also very important is the height of the microphone. Most of the time, if you get the microphone to where the capsule is about the nose level or a little bit higher, it'll start to sound a little bit nasally, and it's just like a lot of like a 1K sort of area there, just a little bit honky, just a little bit long, oh, there's something, can't really describe, but the most natural is to actually make sure that the capsule of the microphone, which is usually around the center, is going straight at the mouth. So that's just going to give you the most direct sound. The microphone's capturing, looking straight at my mouth where I'm going to be singing, and the sound's just projecting straight into it. That's going to sound the most natural. As you bring it higher up, it's, like I said, it's going to bring out a little more of the nasalness in the voice. And you bring it lower, it's going to get a little bit more boomy as well.